Oh, we can do it first. We can do it first.
I feel like at this point, I don't know. I feel like at this point it's kind of a done deal, you know?
It really is.
I feel like it's kind of in the bag, as they say. It's kind of a wrap, as they say. I think Joel Embiid is the MVP of the NBA. So hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs show. This is NBA Awards show episode.
Woo!
Let's get into it. We'll start with MVP. That's what people wanted to see when they clicked on this video. So Joel Embiid versus Nikola Jokic versus kind of Giannis. I don't think anybody, maybe Sean, has a different opinion, but I think all of us are on the same page here with Embiid. So, I mean, I've said it a billion times, and I think that it was deserved last year. I think it's deserved this year. I think he's the best player. I think that there isn't a more hard person to guard one-on-one in the NBA than Joel Embiid. I think he is the best player in the NBA. Led the NBA in points per game last year and this year as a center, and that had never been done as a center since 2000 by Shaq. So I'm very excited. I think Embiid is going to take it home this year, and I think it's deserved. So,
am I not a Sixers fan?
yeah, that was a joke.
Nice.
Sean didn't like that joke.
Yeah, Sean did like
It went right over the dome.
It was a really close race until he got hurt, like what, a week or two ago?
I mean, yeah, he's been sitting out for
Yeah, he missed like a week
now.
or two.
Yeah, he's
And they've been awful.
Yeah, they've been awful without him. So that does go to show how much they need Jokic, I guess, and how much of a race it could have been if he did not get hurt. But even like with Jokic being out, Embiid did have like games where he was just fucking dominating, like
He put
50
on the Celtics, bro.
Yeah.
They scored
like
103.
50, 10, and like 6. So like that doesn't help Jokic's case either, or anybody's case in the MVP race. So I think it's over, bro.
I think that game against the Celtics pretty much put a nail in the coffin. There was no not giving Joel Embiid the MVP. He scored 50. He scored 52, and the team scored 103.
and
in
like
an NBA game.
And the other thing too is like everybody that like is hating on Embiid or whatever is always like, oh, all of his points are from free throws or whatever. He scored 52 on 80% shooting. Like that is insane. But I think that like even prior to that, like it had been Embiid like kind of like rising up and Jokic kind of falling. Which is like the same thing happened this year, but the other way around at this same time kind of. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's been this past month has been rough. Like he had a stretch where he was scoring like 13, 14. He was still getting like triple doubles, but like on like 13 points. He wasn't shooting no shots.
I think Embiid's offensive season, he's having one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time. It's not talked about enough. He's the 12th player in NBA history to average at least 33 points a game, and he's a center. And like in the old times, that was normal, but now like the game has kind of gone away from centers like getting a lot of buckets, and he's averaging 33, so he's one of 12 players to ever do that. He averages a double-double. He's shooting super efficiently. Super efficiently from everywhere. His mid range, I've never seen a player who could just take one jab and shoot over everyone and it goes in every time. He does get to the free throw line a lot, but that's a skill as much as it is like not unesthetically pleasing, like not aesthetically pleasing. Like you don't want to watch it. It is a skill. He knocks him down. I mean, he's the most dominant player since Shaq. Like, let's be real. He like unless you have like someone ginormous under the rim, like no one can really stop him. He's an unguardable.
But the thing about Embiid, man, is you have someone giant on him, he'll take you out to the wing, tween, hezzy cross behind the back, step back, 3-pointer. Bro, it's ridiculous. I've never seen a big that skilled since maybe like Hakeem Olajuwon. I wasn't even alive for that shit, but I'm going off like highlights. But I'm saying like it's ridiculous. Like he has a Kobe Bryant bag and he's 7'2", like damn near 300 pounds. It is ridiculous the stuff that he does on the basketball court at his size.
It's ridiculous. It's efficient. He shoots 55% from the field, 33% from three. He makes a three every game. He's shooting just about 86% from the line. I mean, like he's just He's just an absolute animal. And he's averaging a career high in assists, and he gets almost 2 blocks and a steal a game. He's just everywhere, offensively, defensively. That's the thing I think that really separates him from Jokic is he is
He's
miles
two-way.
better of a defender.
He's
Miles
two-way.
better.
I mean, the Nuggets are going to see, bro. When they get to the playoffs, a lot of teams are going to use that warrior strategy that they did last year. The Warriors did, where they just play pick and roll with Jokic. Like the only way to slow Jokic down offensively is to make him play defense. So you run pick and roll, you get him on your guard, and make him have to guard on the wing. You know, he's really slow. He can't move his feet really well. And then on the fourth quarter time, he's going to be tired. You know, you're going to have to rely on other guys to take you home. So I don't know. We'll see how the playoffs go. I'm excited. But yeah, Joel Embiid is definitely the MVP this year.
That was very nice. Coby and Nickson, both of you. Just like it was nice. Like, past few years it's been like hard to just see my favorite player get left behind. Like no first team all NBA, no MVPs, like getting bounced in the second round every year. So it's nice to like hear you guys suck them a little bit. But
yeah. Take your dick out your mouth.
We'll go
We'll go
the next award, rookie of the year. So I'll just say my pick is Paolo. Like he's the favorite right now. Like Coby, you are obviously a big Magic fan. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call myself quite the fan, but I do my writing for the Magic. Paolo's actually playing great because the thing about him compared to other rookies is he's coming in a situation and being asked to be the number one option. Like I know some other people in this race, Jaden Ivey. I mean, if Cade Cunningham's healthy, he's not a number one option. Jalen Williams on the Thunder is barely a third option. Benedict Mathurin comes off the bench for the Pacers. Like he's coming into the Magic asked to be the number one option. He's averaging 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, which is super underrated in his game. His passing is elite for a forward. He sees the floor super well for a forward. He rebounds. His defense is way better than it was. He shoots efficiently. I mean, 42.7%. His 3-point shooting only shoots 30%, which is not great, but he's a rookie. He's not perfect, but he's just the role he's been put in to come in first year, be a number one option. And then the Magic were kind of fighting for a 10 seed, like for a playing spot. I mean, now that's not impressive, but compared to last year, that's way better. So he's brought them to new heights. He's been put in the toughest position for a rookie, and he's definitely made the most of it.
I think Paolo has the rookie of the year by a mile. It was kind of like, it wasn't even kind of like the Jokic and Embiid situation. It was just like a little bit worse in the hands of Jalen Williams because he was like, I want to say the closest he got was like plus 750 in odds. That's not that great at all. I mean, like right now, Paolo's probably like minus 20,000. So Paolo's had it wrapped up. He's made more of an impact than Jalen Williams did. Jalen Williams definitely had an opportunity at plus 750 when the Thunder were out with Shea and they had nobody to go to. He definitely could have stepped up, and I feel like he could have made a case for rookie of the year, but he didn't. And they were still losing. They were losing to terrible teams at that, terrible games. So yeah, I think Paolo got it locked up, honestly, at this point. He's made more of an impact for sure.
Yeah. To follow, I definitely 100% agree. Paolo is the rookie of the year. I've gone to a couple Magic games this year, and I seen him play Portland, and I forgot who else, but he's good. Like Coby said, being a rookie and being a number one option on a team is a very tough situation to be in, and he's done it. He plays pretty efficiently for a guy that young. He plays both sides of the ball. He's one of the better wing defenders on the Magic. I just the rookie of the year pretty much has been set in stone since like damn near All-Star break. I know Mathurin had a great start to the season. A lot of people were like, oh, like the Pacers are doing good. Like Mathurin is, doing well. He might win rookie of the year. But since then, no, it's been Paolo. And yeah, so that's what it is. It's Paolo rookie of the year.
I'm gonna go a bit of a long shot here. Just won Finals MVP in the G League. One Jalen Springer is an up and coming superstar. He's probably plus a couple 100,000 right now.
He's not a rookie. He's not a rookie, Sean.
He's not?
No, he was on the team like last year too.
Well, watch out for him anyway.
He's still an upcoming star. No, let him
Upcoming
sit.
star,
Let him
though.
sit.
Don't sleep.
Sixers need him.
All right, let's go to the next award here. So, Defensive Player of the Year. My pick is Jaren Jackson Jr. for the Memphis Grizzlies. Second, he's the favorite right now. Also, second is Brook Lopez, which is pretty crazy to me. At this age, that he's still, doing that on the defensive end. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I'll go first. Like Tom just said, bro, it's crazy. I also think Jaren Jackson probably should win it. Considering Memphis is one of the, I mean, so is Milwaukee, but Jaren Jackson is more of a he's more of a rim protector as far as like, and then I feel like he's more versatile on the defensive end. Like he could play out on the wing. He's not just a rim protector like Brook Lopez is. Like he could get out there. He could handle the ball with the guards and stuff like that. But it's crazy that Brook Lopez started his career as like damn near like a better version of like Nikola Vucevic. It's like a guy that's like in the post, doesn't really play no defense, and then now towards the latter part of his career, he's like the complete opposite. He's basically 3-and-D as a center. It's ridiculous. Like, he's a center that shoots threes and blocks shots. So big ups to Brook Lopez, but Jaren Jackson's gonna win the award this year.
Brook Lopez leads the league in blocks. I just saw that on the website here, and that's pretty crazy to me. I think that like part of that might have something to do with the fact that they have Giannis as well, and like obviously
Jrue Holiday, like
Jrue Holiday being like a former Defense Player of the Year winner himself, and like Giannis being like a huge intimidating presence in the middle of the paint. Like Brook Lopez can like be able to like get little cheeky blocks and stuff like that. He had 9 blocks against the Nets like in one game, which is crazy.
I can very well see Brook Lopez winning this award. I don't know for what. Like I just thought about it for like literally the whole time Nickson was talking, but like Brook Lopez is kind of like a defensive. I don't know. He's kind of like a defensive. Like he's a statue in the paint for the like Bucks or whatever. Like, and he really does do his job. Like Tommy said, he leads the league in blocks. Like I feel like Jaren Jackson gets more of the like how the league like they favorite that one player in the award race, like
the
like a popularity race. Like he gets more like looks for like the NBA basically. Like he's gonna bring more views in or whatever.
I think it's because, not to cut you off, Cam, my bad, but I think it's because of versatility. It's Brook Lopez, like you said, he's a statue in the paint. He stands in the paint, puts his hands up, he gets blocks. Like Jaren Jackson will switch onto your guard, play defense out there, lock him up, then come back down, like play defense on the center, get a block. Like Brook Lopez not doing all that.
Yeah, he really not. That is true.
You know what Jaren Jackson Jr. reminds me of, Cam?
Ooh.
I don't know why I just thought of this, but a better Bam Adebayo.
I literally said that to someone like 2 days ago.
Like he's just like a slightly better version of Bam.
I was like, bro, like Jared Jackson is who like Bam wants to be, bro.
I think if Bam expands his range, like if he goes out to the 3-point line like Jaren Jackson does, and he gives the Heat and Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero more space to work with in the paint, they'll all be better for it. I don't know, because Bam could hit the mid range, but sometimes they'll run the pick and roll and he'll like get in the mid range and then he'll just like not look at the rim and then like just start looking around for shooters. I'm like, bro, shoot the fucking ball. Like,
yeah.
Knowing you have Brook Lopez in the paint allows you to play super aggressive defense. Like Holiday and Giannis and stuff, they're really pressing and like playing as hard as they can because they know, okay, I'm the press up. If I get blown by, Lopez is going to block the shot. If you have Nikola Vucevic in the paint, you're probably going to be like a little more conservative and play back a little more because you're like, if I get blown by, Vucevic is not blocking shit. He's probably going to give him an L1. So like, yeah, he's playing with good defenders, but he's also like allowing them to be the best versions of themselves because he's such a paint presence. But I think as he's a huge defensive presence for the Bucks, but just because Jaren Jackson's like a more versatile defender and he's on the ball, off the ball, help defense, like one-on-one, he could get on the perimeter a little bit. I think they'll give it to Jaren Jackson.
Most improved player, I'm saying it's Lauri Markkanen of the Utah Jazz. I think Cam has a different opinion from his former team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I think it's Lauri. I don't have the stat offhand, but his 3-point percentage and rebounds per game is like, I'm pretty sure like never been done before. And he was pretty bad before this year, and now he is an all-star and, on a team that everybody thought was going to be really bad, but he's, doing pretty well, and they're doing better than everybody thought. So I think it's Lauri.
Don't get me wrong, but no one was thinking the Thunder were going to make the play-in tournament by any means last year at all, I feel like. So for Shai to like just come on the team and like score, like he's the number one option. He's already the number one option. There's really no other options on that team. Like we look to Jalen Williams as our second player, and he's a rookie, bro. So it's like Josh Giddey can only do so much offensively. He's more of a facilitator wise. So it's really all on Shai, and it's really nobody else. So I think I wonder how many points does he average?
Shai averages like 30.
At least 30.
31.4 and
that is
5 and 5.
That's
31, 5 and 5.
Crazy. And that is like, it's basically him, bro. Like, there's nobody else on that team. Imagine every night you come on the court, coach is like, all right, like, we're expecting fucking 30. Like, no less. Like, we need it.
I get where you're coming from, but you also got to remember, look at the Jazz roster, bro. Lauri's second best player is motherfucking probably like Jordan Clarkson or some shit. It's not much better over there either. And listen, Lauri last year was averaging 13 points. Everybody kind of knew last year, like, oh, this kid's Shai. Like he's the next one. Like he's you know what I'm saying? He made the jump this year, but I just think if you look at the award for what it is, like most improved, Lauri definitely improved the most out of everybody in the league this year. I think it's Lauri's award, man. He kind of deserves it. Utah at one point was one of the best teams in the West. That's ridiculous. Look at their roster. I'm looking at their roster like this is bad. This is horrible. This is Taylor Horton Tucker, Jordan Clarkson, Chris. They got Chris Dunn playing meaningful minutes, bro. Chris Dunn.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like if you look at the Western Conference, like it's bad. Just like the fact that the Kings are locked in at the 3 seed right now is wild.
Bro, the West is so weird this year, bro. Like so weird.
Like the fact that the Thunder are only like 3 games better than the Jazz, like they're basically, just equal rosters. And Lauri went from averaging 14 points a game to 25 points a game this year. And Shai was already like an all-star. I don't know if he was an all-star, but he's all-star.
But like all-star caliber. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, everybody already looked at him like an all-star last year. And this year he got better, but like the Thunder are still the Thunder. So it's like, is he like done that much? Like not really. So
Shai, everyone like, oh my God, Shai, like this guy's tough. He's nice. Like he's super good. Like he just needs to work on shooting. He's a good defender. He averages 30. Like his wasn't unexpected. Like Lauri Markkanen was like halfway on it. Like he was learning Chinese already for like the fucking Guangdong Tigers. And then all of a sudden he averaged fucking 26. So I just think, I mean, he's on a nothing team. He's the first option on his team and he's making the most of it. I mean, Shai's the first option on his team, but he was already a more skilled player. Like he was like a B plus A minus player. And now he's like an A player. Like Lauri Markkanen was like a C plus player. And now he's like a B plus A minus player. So like I think it's Lauri because he was worse and he got to an all-star where Shai was already like all-star caliber and now he's just like all NBA.
Next award, 6th man of the year. I think Coby definitely has some feelings on this. So if you want to go ahead and lead us off, Coby, go ahead.
Okay, so I know the consensus of the show is probably going to be Emmanuel Quickley, or at least like that's what most people think. But I would like to refute that and say it's Malcolm Brogdon. I am not just being like a Celtics fan, like, oh, it's my guy because I'm a Celtics fan. Like I truly believe Malcolm Brogdon is the 6th man of the year. He has been so clutch in so many moments for the Celtics when Tatum or Brown have been hurt, not playing that great. We need another star. Here's this. Okay, so rounding to the nearest whole number, he averages 15 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. 48% from the field, 44 from 3, 87 from the free throw line. 48, 44, 87. Quickly averages 15, 4, and 3. Brogdon averages 15, 4, and 4. So the same stats, except he gets 1 more rebound or assist. I can't remember. And quickly shoots 40 from the field, 39 from 3, and 89 from the free throw. So 40 and 39, 48 and 44. So they average pretty much the same numbers on way better efficiency from Brogdon. They both had 18, 20-plus point games. He was the most underrated pickup, I think, in the offseason. And he's averaging slightly better numbers on higher efficiency. So I don't understand why Quickly would be the sixth man. He's less efficient, same numbers, lower seeded team.
I'm actually differing from Emmanuel Quickly too. I think it's Bobby Portis, and for a lot of the same reasons that Coby's saying with Brogdon. It's just when you're the sixth man, you're averaging 14 and 10, and you impact winning a lot. Like, he kind of had Bobby Portis has a Draymond feel to the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, he comes in, he brings energy, he gets rebounds, he plays defense, he scores a lot more than Draymond does, but he kind of has that same feel. Like, he's the energy guy. So I feel like Bobby Portis is deserving of it. There's a lot of guys that should get a lot of love. Like, we're not even thinking about guys like Jordan Clarkson, who come off the bench and score a lot of points, Malik Monk, who come off the bench and score a lot of points. Like, but it's one thing to score points and it's another thing to like impact winning. So when you look at guys like Brogdon and Bobby Portis, who are the sixth man, but like, they there's a lot of games where they start because of injury and stuff like that. So these guys that have impact on winning, I feel like should be the ones that win sixth man of the year. That's like truly what a sixth man is.
Another candidate that I wanted to go with, bro, was Norman Powell.
Norman Powell's a good one too. There's a lot of guys that deserve love.
Yeah, like there's a lot of six.
A lot of guys.
Really, good, like Norman Powell's a really good candidate. He's been stepping up for the Clippers more so recently than like throughout the season now. Like, but I just feel like Norman Powell has been like he's been coming up in the clutch for the Clippers, like especially PG and like Kawhi having their like injury stress or whatever. But every game that they're out, they can look to Norman Powell, and he would really show up every time. So I feel like Norman Powell is a good candidate.
Like, if I'm a voter, like, because the voter, you got to pick the top five. Dude, it's hard to pick like 1 through 5 in order to. I'd probably go, me personally, I'll probably go Bobby Portis, Brogdon, Quigley, maybe a guy like, you're talking about like Jordan Clarkson could be 4 easily. Norman Powell could be 4. 3 through 5 is like, that's hard. Jordan Poole, like that's really hard.
All right, Coach of the Year. This one is pretty much, I don't know if it's been announced yet, but it's pretty much like 100%. Mike Brown, the Kings coach. Like, the Kings, we've said it on this program before. The Kings had literally since 2003 or whenever not been relevant, not made the playoffs. And they're the 3 seed confirmed already for the playoffs this year. So, with a roster that's, not that good, and a lot of guys who before this year were not getting a lot of love, and Mike Brown before this year was not getting a lot of love, it's pretty remarkable. So,
yeah,
Mike Brown. Team is amazing. They got some good chemistry on that team. Keegan Murray, Sabonis, like De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, like it just keeps going. Herder, like even Trey Lyles, like he be getting buckets sometimes for some reason.
Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes. Like, it's so many people that I could just forget about, like, that are go-to players. Like, any moment you could be like, here, like, go get a bucket. And they'll go make a play, or, like, they'll make the right decision, if that makes sense. So, yeah, congratulations to the Kings. Congratulations to Mike Brown, even though he won't see this, but hopefully he will. But, yeah, light the beam.
Light the beam, baby.
Light the beam.
Yeah. I just want to say, yeah, I think it's definitely Mike Brown. He's in so much impressive shape. More than the players, I think the culture he's brought. I mean, the Kings have had one of the loudest, most electric stadiums this year. Like, the fans are screaming, or arenas, not a stadium, arena, I guess. The fans are screaming. You can barely hear. I mean, the beam. Like, people are excited going to those games. Like, there's some of the most fun games to watch. So he's just brought such a different, like, to a team that's had such a losing taste in their mouth. Like, he brought a winning culture. And I think he's really good at getting the best out of every player and using their best assets. Like, Keegan Murray has hit the most threes as a rookie's ever hit in a season. De'Aaron Fox is top 2 in clutch points. Kevin Huerter's having one of his best shooting seasons. Sabonis was an all-star this year. Like, he's just getting the most out of all his players. I mean, Monk can even have a case for sixth man of the year that we didn't talk about before, but Monk's been having a great season. He's just getting the most out of every person and, like, getting them to accept it. What?
Doesn't he start?
No, Monk comes off the bench.
Not Huerter. It goes
Huerter's the starting 2 guard.
Fox, Huerter, Barnes, Sabonis, and Keegan.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, so like he's just been getting the most, like getting players to accept their roles. Like Monk has really embraced the 6-man role. Herder and Murray have really embraced 3-point shoot, like spot up shooting roles. Fox has like embraced the role as a leader. A lot of people were saying before the season, like, oh, the Kings suck because Fox isn't the number one. Fox isn't a real one. Like Fox like isn't like the guy who's gonna get them to the playoffs. And then this year he's really been that guy, especially in the clutch. Sabonis has been the best he's ever been. So he's just really getting players to succeed in their roles. And like there was like a story this year where like he told Keegan Murray to like work on his ball handling. And Keegan Murray was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I don't need to work on my ball handling." And the coach was like, "All you do is like catch and shoot. Like, you don't dribble the ball." And then he was like, "Oh, I could. I just don't want to." And then he was like, "Okay, well, you have the green light." And then Keegan Murray went on that week to average like 20 something points for that week. So like he just like instills confidence in the players and gets the most out of them. So, um, I just think he's obviously it. But I just like to give a shout out to Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla. He has the second highest odds, and like he got put in a really tough position. I mean, he was surprised like head coach like after what happened to Ime Udoka, which I won't really talk about, but he ran like just really quickly got hired with not a lot of time. To just he like, yo, you're the head coach, we're throwing you in there like not too long before the season. And like like you would think like the players would be like, what the fuck after that happened with Ime, like they would be distracted, but he's pulled them back in. They're having probably a better season than last year, and they're definitely a finals contending team. So I just like to say he did a great job with the circumstances he was put in, but definitely got to be Mike Brown.
Like like you guys all touched on, it's been a very good year to be a Kings fan, and which is a crazy thing to say because basically ever since I was born, like they've been garbage. So
that sentence has literally never been said in our life before.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Since I was born, they've been garbage. So shout out to the Kings, man. Light the beam.
All right.
The longest drought in the history of in sports right now, the longest playoff drought in sports.
Like and subscribe. Great show. Let's enjoy some NBA play-in tournament basketball next week.
Yes, sir.